Here comes the flag. It's hanging outside the starting tower. Inside 10 seconds. Detroit, crowd the fences, get amongst it. We're about to go green here for race number 2 of the Speed Energy Stadium Super Trucks, and we're underway. A blistering start by Ari Leindyke Jr. from the outside of the front row as we head down to the first turn, where we like to keep things under control for the first couple of corners, but from that point onwards, it's go time on the run to turn 3.
And they are off and running. It's about to get wild. Albert Hood out of WRIF, everything that rocks, throws that green flag, and it is about to get nuts right now. You see Ari Leindyke out in front. Right behind him, it is Archula. Archula, you see, he's got a couple different body panels on that truck, making it work after his crash yesterday. Leindyke to the outside, and big smoke off Paul Morris's tires in the 67. The dude, smoke bellowing off those tires. Next to him, Eric Davis, he dives the inside, not able to make that pass as they go 4 wide into turn number 4.
That wouldn't have been a good look for the Morris truck going down the inside of the team owner. Down to turn number 3. They clear the first ramp down at Firestone. Into turn number 5, where we put some orange cones on the inside to make that curb a little less aggressive in 2017. But it's Leindyke Jr. that leads. The Brazilian Archila Rebreu in second. Back to Morris in third position. And look at this battle between Heinz, Creed, Aaron Bumbach, right back to Gavin Harlan.
And you see right now out in front, Ari Leindyke, he has had some struggles this year so far. He said yesterday, I haven't won a race in a while. I really don't want a second. I don't want a third. I want to win. I want to put that Lear truck up on the podium starting out front now. That's going to be very helpful for him. Kieran from Race Control, we may get a penalty on Sheldon Creed for hitting a cone in turn 5 on the inside of that. Race Control is coming back and forth. They're going to make a decision here shortly.
And that will happen at the first competition caution. The side-by-side goes Creed and Eric Davis across the ramp through the inside, past the corporate facilities, and now down into Continental Corner. Brabham on the outside with the Vilbis, number 83, challenging down the backside of the circuit here on lap number 1.
Look at this. We got Ari Leindyke in the front. We got Creed and Morris mid-pack all the way in the back. We've got Brabham and the others. So much talent all the way through from the front to the back of the tail here. A lot of fast drivers here. Anyone can win. As you see them, they are single file right now, almost drafting. Now you'd say, oh, you can't draft with these trucks. Well, you're wrong. These trucks use a lot of air, push a lot of air around, so that you will see them using drafting tactics on these fast sections of the track here. As there they are down the front stretch. Toyo tires launching them into turn number 1. Oh, big air for Bill Hines as he is front end low.
That's the Matt Brabham way of attacking the ramps on the main straight. So lap 2 underway and carnage free so far as they go down and stretch the legs of these amazing Speed Energy Stadium Super Trucks down to turn number 3. Now you may think Ari Leindyke Jr. is going to drive away with this one, but guess what? Competition cautions are not too far away. Love this scrap going on now. It's a 5-truck scrap down to turn 3. Davis locks the rears. He's going to go off the track down the bottom here and lose at least 2, 3, 4 positions. And the dude's gone off as well. I spoke too soon.
The dude had gone out of the camera. He had already blown the turn. They went in 3, 4 wide right there. Bombach got the short end of the stick on it. As Bombach in that bright green truck, big troubles for him there. Good news for him. There will be that competition caution coming up shortly here. Now let's take a minute. Let's talk about Archula here. How good is he right now? He is not only hanging with Ari Leindyke, he's staying in front of the dude until his mistake. Now he's got Creed behind him. He's racing with the best of the best and showing that he's got the speed and the talent here. He's got to be a happy young man.
His family are here right today watching all the action. He's a Brazil stock car driver down there. Teammates to ex-Formula 1 racer Ricardo Zonta down in that part of the world, and lots of Brazil following the talent of this 30-year-old who runs in second position at the moment. So we work this third lap now down into the Auto Trader section of the track. Hines and Brabham, former teammates in the past.
Look at Gavin Harlan. He is moving up to the pack. He went from last place yesterday as the fast qualifier on Friday all the way up to on the podium with the second place. Oh, it's smoke off the Toyo tires of Hines right there in the 57. Brabham makes a clean pass on the inside. The DeVilbiss driver is running hard. We got to watch him the whole time. You expect him to be up near the front at the end of this race here and battling for a win, and he's running that DeVilbiss truck hard all weekend long here in Detroit.
He had a great battle yesterday with Paul Morris in the live United Fiber and Data truck 67. It's rejoined the field. As down towards the finish line they come, we're watching Brabham, Hines, and Eric Davis, but back to the leaders, and look at the showstopper right on the back of the Brazilian now in the Shell V-Power entry down into turn number 1.
Now I'm wondering how Sheldon's going to handle this. That's a new driver in second place here, new to the series. Is Sheldon going to take it easy and say, hey, let's see what he's got, let's wait for him to make a mistake, or is he going to lean on him hard? It's early in the race. You don't want to wreck your truck. You don't want to take yourself or anyone out of the race, especially this earlier on. Look like Archila goes to the outside, trying to push around Leindyke. He might be going for the lead here. barely on the brakes, almost out of control. Lyondike says, okay, I'm going to let him back. The 119 backs off the pedals in that Lear truck. And Archila out in front right now. That is Archila Abreu out of Brazil, and he is leading his first ever Speed Energy Stadium Super Truck race.
Can we just take a moment to realize how cool that was? Going around the outside down at turn number 3, and now the young Brazilian leads us, and there's the cone being kicked up down at turn number 5 once again.
Not going to need an official to call that one. Looks like Ari Lyondike got into that cone. They are not allowed to go up on that curb. It's a very high, violent curb. Not allowed to go up on that. So that's where the cones are there. I think we're going to be seeing a penalty for Ari Lyondike as we are drag racing down this fast stretch, 150 miles an hour in this section here. And Sheldon Creed and Archila side by side. Sheldon out breaks some Safecraft safety equipment number 1 to the inside, makes a nice clean pass.
These tires continue to get better and better as the weekend comes on this slipperier concrete surface at the Belle Isle Park circuit here in Detroit. So top 3 separated by absolutely 0 at the moment. And looks like we've got some more trucks starting to buy into the argument down here with the competition caution not too far away.
Now we see Sheldon Creed out front. That's bad news for everyone here, but we will pack them back up with a comp caution here shortly. So we are Creed, Archila Abreu in second place, Ari Lyondike in P3, and look at right now, I believe it's the Royal Purple driver of Gavin Harlan. He has moved into 4th place all the way from the rear of the tail. What a great weekend from this young man. We haven't even got into the first caution yet, and he's already up here in a position to strike. 9
positions he made up yesterday. He's made up 5 so far. Of course, 1 point for each truck you pass in the Speed Energy Stadium Super Truck Series. As through we go again to complete another lap at the Belle Isle Park course. So Creed the leader, back to Abreu. We've got debris and stuff all over the track down here, and Hines has gone off. Hines has gone off just in front of us, and he's collected one of the barrels, maybe 2 barrels. There's one who rolled right in front of us here in our commentary position. So it's all starting to explode here as we approach the halfway mark of race number 2.
Well, we had mentioned earlier on before we took the green flag here that the second race, this is the heaviest one. This one weighs more than race number 1 as far as the points, everything go. This is the race that breaks any tiebreakers or what have you. So these guys are pushing really hard, but now there's going to be some penalties assessed. Right now there is Davis. He gets outbraked by Paul Morris. Paul Morris 2 laps ago having a trouble right there in turn number 3. Blew it really wide. Now he's backing it down and back together again. He is waiting for that comp caution, which should be coming out here in just a couple of turns. And they are going to pack the pack back up again, get them good and tight, and they will take the second start, say, in the first restart. As you see him here, Ari Lyondike right on Archila, pushing him here. Now we're going to get ready. Oh, gives him the shimmy shake right there. The now you see me, now you don't Houdini. Goes to the outside, not able to make it stick. Archila stays in there, holds onto it, and now he's like, okay, I can relax. Yellow flag's out, first comp caution. Now let's relax, all right? So a couple different things happening. A lot of drama unfolding, Matt Nolte. We had a penalty on Bill Hines for taking out, you said the barrels earlier. The barrels are there as a chicane, folks. They are there just to slow the trucks down a little bit because this is a 150-mile-an-hour straightaway going into the first jump on the front stretch. So the chicane's there to slow them down, get them under control, jump that jump safely. Granted, safely, I'm saying they're still jumping 250 feet.
Exactly.
But jump that jump safely and under control. So, but we've got some penalties out. Bill Hines took out part of the chicane. We had Ari Lyondike got into a cone. I believe Sheldon Creed may be getting assessed a penalty as well. That was called. I have not heard if that was going to be a penalty yet or not from race control. So a lot of drama unfolding here. As you see, now they're all going slow, getting packed back up. The restart, they're going to get the checkered flag. The pace of this is judged by the leader. He can go as fast or as slow as he chooses to go when they get the front stretch and go underneath the Chevy Bridge and over the Arctic Cat, jump number 1 into Toyo Tires, ramp number 2. So first comp caution. One more coming up in a couple laps, and then they drag race to the finish line here. This is the time the guys are like, okay, all right, I see who's got what, who's running hard, who's got different lines, who's driving better than they were yesterday, who's having some problems. Now everything's out on the table. We've all turned the cards over. We know what kind of hands we have here as these guys get ready to go and take this next green flag.
Gloves are off, getting set for the restart here. So Creed with a question mark still above what happened earlier in the first part of the race. Behind him is Archila Abreu, the Shell V-Power, number 51. Lyondike Jr. hoping for a win today for his sponsor, the local-based Lear Corporation, 119. Back in third, we got Harlan up to 4th spot now. Brabham in 5th. The hoodless Jeff Hoffman, the True Fuel entry, is behind him. We go back to the dude, Eric Davis, Aaron Bumbach, and Bill Hines at the back as stage 2 of this race gets the green flag, and we're back underway, albeit very, very slow from the showstopper.
And Sheldon Creed's going real slow on the restart. Jason Smith with USAC Race Control just said, All right, number 1, Sheldon Creed did not take the penalty he was given right now, so he will be forced to take the penalty in the second caution coming up. So we're going to have to look for that. I think he gave that option. Hey, you're going to take it here sooner or later. So, but Sheldon Creed opted to take it later instead of sooner, as he's out in front in the Safecraft Safety Equipment number 1. Behind him, Ari Lyondike Jr. He is back into P3. Archer LeHebrew, he is in P4. And look at Harlan. Gavin Harlan moving up right to 4th spot. What a great weekend from him.
Just gave the barrels an adjustment here on the main straight as the leading group come around out of turn 4. They clear the Toyo Tyres ramp and down to turn 5, where the cones have been set back up for this second part of the race here. So Creed from Lyondike Jr. We go back to Achille Abreu now in 3rd position with Harlan from the back of the field. Same 2 with Matt Brabham, the DeVilbiss number 83 on the charge here in race number 2.
As we said, you've got to keep an eye on that DeVilbiss driver of Matty Brabham here, starting all the way in the last row, slowly and methodically making his way up. In the drivers' meeting today, we had a little talk about some ramp adjustments and things. Some of the drivers were complaining, not happy about that. Matt Brabham says, hey, I think it's going to be fine, not going to be bothering me. Aaron Baumbach says, yeah, because you're that good. You're that smooth. So, of course, it doesn't bother you. And he is showing that right now, Brabham, just how smooth he is as he's methodically making his way through the pack.
Oh. How busy do you like it through the auto trade area? It's a very narrow section of the course, and now Hoffman and Harlan, 2 young guys that have been very impressive. They don't say much behind the scenes. They do all their talking on the racetrack here in Speed Energy Stadium Super Trucks. Harlan, there was a bit of a thought in the pits the other day. How good was he behind the wheel? Was that time legit on Friday? I think we're on the greens. The kid is just good.
Yeah, absolutely. The time was legit. He put that lap time down in qualifying. It was a legitimate time, and he's proven that this weekend. Now, granted, he just got passed by Brabham, but if you're going to get passed by anybody, that's not a bad guy to do it. And if he's smart about it, he will learn from this, and he'll watch Matt Brabham, stay behind him. Oh, it looks like another driver may have got into the chicane as well. I'm not sure if that was Creed or if it was Lyondike. Yeah. So looking right now here, they are possibly going into another comp caution a little bit sooner due to the chicane. As I'm looking and listening to race control right now, from what I understand is whomever just got into that chicane has moved it so they can come straight through at 150 miles an hour at the ramp. So I think they may take a caution on this lap so that they can fix that up. Look at Abreu. 3 wide right there. The Brazilian running really hard. He got his race face on today. Very impressive run from him in P3 right now.
But look at the guys behind him. It's Brabham, it's Harlan, it's Hoffman, and now Paul Morris buying into this argument. Creed and Lyondike have got a bit of a margin here, but with another competition caution still to come. Brabham trying everything he can. This time he gets down the inside and goes past the Brazilian, gets himself up to 3rd.
Little bit of contact there, but a clean pass. Brabham passes Abreu. Abreu gets dropped back. He needs to get in behind Harlan right now and get into the draft here. He might lose another spot. Keeping in mind his first weekend out here, Achille Abreu with Stadium Super Truck, so he's just learning these things. A lot of these guys have already know these tricks. Their bag of tricks is a little bit deeper than maybe Achille Abreu's is. As we go into, I believe it's a full course yellow. I think they're going to probably consider this the second of the 2 mandatory competition cautions. I don't imagine they're going to make the decision to have a 3rd one later on. So they're throwing this one out a little earlier than planned. Reason being is to fix the chicane up, which I believe has happened. And as I mentioned earlier, it looks like a little dispute here with Ari Lyondike and Sheldon Creed. I think Ari's saying, hey, man, I'm supposed to be in front of you. Sheldon's saying, no, you're not. And Sheldon's not having it, so we're going to see here. I'm sure race control is speaking to these 2 guys as they are back and forth. Now, if you're Ari Lyondike and you think you should be up front, I get that. Okay, I should be up front. That's it. But I don't think you want to be upsetting Sheldon Creed by giving him a hard time right now, because he'll come out there if he has to. He'll race you clean, but if you make him upset, he'll punt you. Yeah, he'll punt you good too. So I think these guys are all great guys. Most of them get along with each other pretty well. But I think it might even be a matter of race control might be talking to Creed saying, hey, man, you haven't taken your penalty. Are you going to do that? And when they talk to the drivers, they can talk to all of them.
So Creed's decided to cruise away from the scene here as the rest of the trucks have stopped at the exit of Motor City Casino Corner. That's turn 12 on this course. So Davis has gone ahead as well. And now we'll get back underway. So the word's gone out to Sheldon Creed that you need to be lining up behind, and now we've got a bit of a discussion between he and Davis down at Motor Oil's turn.
I have a feeling that maybe Creed's driver radio might not be working, or he has selective hearing, today, one of the two. But Raceco just said, hey, man, someone needs to tell Sheldon he's got to give that position up because of early round getting into the cone in turn number 5. I think that's what Eric Davis did. He came up and said, hey, man, you got to drop back to P2, and that's what he did. That puts the Lear driver, the 119 of Ari Lyondike Jr., back out into the lead. Lear, a Detroit-based company, does amazing things here for Detroit. They make you comfortable in all your vehicles at home and by making all of the seats for your cars, your trucks worldwide. And that worldwide company is now #1 and out in front here at Stadium Super Trucks.
Celebrating their 100th anniversary this year too, and Ari wants to get a win for him, carrying the 119, which is very symbolic to the business too. It's where the business is based in downtown Detroit, 119 State Street, if you want to get precise down there, and also marks the day the company was reborn, the 9th of November, all those years ago. He runs in second behind Sheldon Creed, who's going to be pretty pumped up after having a little discussion in that second competition. Caution, they weave their way around through turn number 5 now, and suddenly Matt Brabham, he's towards the pointy end of the field here. Now
keep in mind that normally we were going to have 3 laps at the back end of this race, but instead, due to that comp caution coming out early, the fixed chicane, this is a 4-lap section to the checkered flag right now. Now, okay, so we got 4 laps of racing. On top of it, you got Sheldon Creed, Ari Lyondike, Matty Brabham going to the inside, sneaking by Lyondike, blows a turn, Lyondike back to the inside again. And behind them, Gavin Harlan. So the best of the best, the who's who of Stadium Super Trucks, they are out front right now for 3.5 laps of all-out, wild, crazy, high-flying action. Lyondike wants this more than ever today. Brabham wants another race win. He's picked up a couple so far in season 2017. He's now got the young Arizona-based racer in Gavin Harlan right on his tail. And Abreu just chilling out back there in 5th position at the moment, but still a long way to go. You see right now the dude pulls out, he goes to the inside, not able to make it, trying to get up on the 50-1 True Fuel driver. Right there, not able to make that stick. You see Hoffman lost his hood earlier on in the race. He may be penalized after the race, post-race, for that as well. So this is going to be one complete here after this segment with 3 laps left to go as the first half of the pack. They get through the chicane cleanly, nice and slow, get back on the loud pedal. Wide open down the front stretch. As you see, there is Brabham's signature move, flying high in the air with the rear end higher than the front end, nosing it in there. That is how Matty Brabham normally flies in these number 83 DeBillis truck. As they are up on 3 wheels, you know those Toyo tires are getting the power to the ground when you see him twisting that chassis up there on 3 wheels like that. And he's giving the psych out here to Lyondike. He's going to try his best. A Chiller Abreu move down here at turn number 3, but Lyondike had the best brakes at the bottom of turn number 3. They'll go side by side underneath the Lear Corporation Bridge and down to turn number 4. Who's going to get it this time? We'll give it to Brabham. They'll continue to go side by side, but there's a ramp coming, and Brabham gets himself up to second. Back up to second. Oh, backwards into the wall. Big wreck back there in turn 4. The Hoff. Oh, the Hoff, the True Fuel 50-1. Jeff Hoffman showing it so far this year with his rookie year that he's got the speed to be on the podium. He's been there with us before. He was at Clipsal 500 and Adelaide not that long ago. Struggling this weekend here in Detroit as he gets hard into the wall in turn number 4. Meanwhile, still out front, Sheldon Creed, the Safecraft Safe Equipment #1, looking comfortable, but he's got Matty Brabham behind him. Does Brabham have the speed to catch him? That's a big gap to make up, and there technically shouldn't be another caution coming out. And then if he does he have what it takes to get around him? That's a whole nother deal. Yeah. That's some amazing battles, didn't they, last year when they were teammates? Oh, Lyondike gets it up on 2 wheels across the big high curbs down there through the Auto Trader part, down to Continental Corner, and Harlan sniffs perhaps another position ahead here. And Lyondike on defensive. Is he in trouble maybe? He's driving really defensively in this lap. He absolutely is. He's not his normal aggressive stuff. Usually you see Ari Lyondike charging. He is a little defensive right now as Gavin Harlan, the Royal Purple, number 55, gets the inside him. A nice clean pass there from the Royal Purple synthetic oil truck. Gavin Harlan looking at a possible another podium again today, or this weekend, I should say. What a great run for him. Now look at it, looked like one of the barrels for the chicane was moved there. That's going to be wondering who actually hit it. I do know for a fact that Bill Hines just hit one as well as they came by the commentary booth right now. So that chicane back wide open again. Gavin Harlan up on 3 wheels. Right behind him, Ari Lyondike in P4. Putting the metal to the pedal to the metal. As you see him just wide open right there, those chassis just twist, and that's called a torque wheelie. Speaking of torque, there is Paul the Dude Morris in the live number 67 out of Queensville, Norwell, Australia, to the outside of Abreu, not able to make it stick. pushing Hebrew hard right here. Great run for him, for the Brazilian as well so far this weekend.
Well, the only testing he's done was at the test facility down in Charlotte, where you don't really get the feel of the speed these trucks are going, as we've gone yellow. We've gone yellow here.
Well, this is good news and bad news right here. You know, the part of the good news, okay, is that they got to make some adjustments here on the front stretch again, and with Speed Energy Stadium Super Trucks, along with the Penske Group that puts on this event, and everyone at the Chevrolet Detroit Grand Prix, safety is number one. So, yes, we've had an early caution early on, another caution right now to fix this chicane up. Think, well, you know, that's frustrating. Well, you know what? That is erring on the side of safety, and that is of the utmost importance here in any motorsport. So, some good news that they're erring on that and making it happen. Good news for our guys in the back. They're packing it back up. Bad news for Sheldon Creed, who had a great lead out in front, but now he's got Matty Brabham right on his tail. We have seen umpteen epic battles in between Sheldon Creed and Matty Brabham. The only problem with that is I think we're going to see a wild battle in between Sheldon Creed, Matty Brabham, and Gavin Harlan here in just a minute, because he is in the mix. And I mentioned to Gavin's father, Chris Harlan, earlier today, I said, man, I tell you what, you know, your son might end up being the next Sheldon Creed in this series. He's running so well. And he says, I'm just happy to hear his name in the same sentence as Sheldon. So he's ecstatic about that. So we're going to see a wild battle here to the finish.
Many thousands of fans that are watching us on Facebook right now for this race. You might want to type in Toronto 2016, race number 2. That race was epic. The final race on the Gold Coast in Australia last year between those two, between Brabham and Creed. It certainly has been an amazing rivalry over the past couple of years in the Speed Energy Stadium Super Trucks, as the final comp caution is done and we're getting set for the final sector of this race, the final race of the day here for the Speed Energy Stadium Super Trucks, before we head to Texas Motor Speedway next weekend for the next round of the championship on Saturday night. Down there, looking forward to a combination course of asphalt, a bit of dirt, and some massive ramps, which you've had a lot to do with in the past couple of weeks.
Texas Motor Speedway coming up next weekend in conjunction with the IndyCar race. It's going to be wild. Asphalt, aluminum jumps, huge 150-foot long dirt doubles over 10 feet tall just to take off. So you're going to want to tune in at home, check it out, check out all the information on Facebook, check out Texas Motor Speedway's website. If you live in the area within a few hours, it's going to be worth loading the family up and coming down to that race, because it is going to be a wild one. It's going to be dirt, asphalt, aluminum, the whole nine. It's going to be some good stuff. But what's about to unfold right here should be one of the best battles we've seen at least this year in Speed Energy Stadium Super Trucks, with Creed, Brabham, Harlan, and Lyondike right here, top 4. If you think they've been pushing it the last few laps here, you've seen nothing yet. You're going to get 120% out of these young men right now as they are about ready to drag race to the checkered flag.
So Creed and Brabham and Harlan behind as the green flag waves. The final sector of this race is underway here in Detroit. Can Brabham burst through for the win, or will it be 3 straight for Sheldon Creed?
You see right now, Creed out in front. A little bit of a gap already on Brabham right there. You see all the way in the back there is the True Fuels 50-1 of Hoff having a little bit of trouble. Look at this line, dude, way to the outside, trying to get around Hebrew, not able to make it happen. Every one of these guys being a little defensive, going to the outside, they're carrying their speed. They weren't worried about anyone getting by us. Hebrew gets outbraked by the dude. The dude, once again, he was the magic man. Now you see me, now you don't. He goes to the outside. Oldest trick in the book. Dives to the inside and makes that pass and moves up one more position.
He's been duded.
He's been duded. Hashtag dude mower, as he goes right around the inside of him there. Very impressive move. As you see Sheldon Creed really backing it in right there. Not just driving around, sliding around the corners, which means he's pushing it. Not necessarily the fast way around the track, but it shows how hard he's pushing that truck right now.
It was effective, there's no doubt about it. The high-speed section across the back, past the Detroit River on the left-hand side, and the unorthodox way of using the corner down here at Corvette, where we can run right up against the wall here, carries more momentum into the corner, but then it gets really tight into this sector of the track. They ride the curve. This closes up the field. So Brabham on the back of Creed. Harlan just sitting back at the moment to see what plays out with the 2 guys ahead. And Larry Lyondike still sniffing around here for perhaps a podium position.
Well, I can tell you right now, Harlan's being smart about this. If they finish the way they are, Harlan's going to win the overall for the weekend. He needed to be within 2 spots of Brabham, and he could be a couple spots from Creed. So if the way it finishes, that gives him 2 podiums and the overall win for the end of the weekend. He'll be crowned the champion here in the Motor City. So he's being smart about it. If he passes Brabham, Brabham's going to have to make a mistake. He's happy where he is right now.
Through they come. Last lap is about to start. The white flag will be shown from our starters tower here at the Belle Park racetrack. Creed, Brabham and Harlan, your top three. Here's the white flag. It's go time if Brabham wants to win this.
Oh, big air, all kinds of sideways for the DeVilbiss number 83. Brabham really throwing it out there on that one. As I said before, these guys are pushing 120%. White flag is out, less than a full lap to go. 120% is given by each one of these drivers as they push these trucks, these King shocks, these Toyo tires to the absolute limits of what they're capable of.
Brabham as close as you like. Same two with Harlan down into turn number 3 for the final time in the Speed Energy Stadium Super Trucks. And we know there's been rivalry between these two. It's just played out again between Morris and Leyendijk Jr.
Right in front of the boss, the teammates, Ari Leyendijk Jr., Paul Morris, Bill Hines, their teammates. Ari has moved dude out of the way this year several times. The dude just paid him back and paid him back hard. He said the gloves were going to be off today, and he wasn't kidding as he just parked the leader driver of Ari Leyendijk in turn 4.
There's no interest on that payback, was there?
Absolutely not.
Wow.
As we are 150 miles an hour through this backstretch, only a handful of turns left to go and 2 jumps to the checkered flag. Out in front, it's Sheldon Creed, Matty Brabham, and the DeVilbiss number 83 and P2. Looking really good. These guys nice and easy. Gavin Harlan in the Royal Purple truck, he's just hanging back. He's like, all right, I'm looking at my rearview mirror. I don't really have too much pressure on me here. I just got to stay where I am, get the truck to the finish line, and I'm going to be a champion in Stadium Super Trucks.
This is the last chance. He needs to be in the box seat on the run down to Motor City Casino Corner. It's the closest that Brabham's been the whole race to Creed, who just jumped out of the Trans Am car just a few moments ago. He's been a busy boy here at the Belle Isle track in 2017. 1 turn remaining as he works his way out of this and down towards chicane. Creed about 2 truck lengths away now. Harlan sniffing on the back of Brabham. I don't think he can do too much down here as through the barrels they come for the final time. Detroit, let's hear it for this guy. He's unstoppable this year. He goes back to back. Time to get the broom out. It's a clean sweep for Sheldon Creed in 2017.
Sheldon Creed. Big air over the finish line. Toyo Tires brings him home to the checkered flag. Big victory for Sheldon Creed. Matty Brabham in P2. Gavin Harlan with his second podium as well for this weekend, and P3, and unofficially the overall winner for the weekend as well. So wild racing for these guys. And then, of course, P4, Paul Morris, Eric Davis rounds out the top 5. So great run by him. Ari Leyendijk Jr. in P6. Not overly excited with what happened there between him and Paul Morris. I'm sure there'll be some words in the paddock here shortly, but some wild racing. Matt Nolte, I'm going to let you finish this up. I'm going to head to the podium for some celebration.
You sprint towards that, Sean Sermon. Pleasure as always as Creed on his cool-down lap here at Detroit. Back-to-back winner. He hadn't won a race until he arrived here yesterday on the streets of Belle Isle. If you're around turn 4 and turn 5, how about put your hands together for this entire field, the Speed Energy Stadium Super Trucks, turning it on once again here in Detroit. And the showstopper will try and do this for pretty much the whole lap as Harlan gets into party mode down in turn number 5. A great result for him after grabbing that pole position yesterday. Gets himself up on the podium once again. And that's about 5 in succession for the man from Arizona. It's race win 31 for this guy and gets himself back into serious contention. He's been racing in NASCAR ARCA Series racing this year. We're bound to see him in some more races as well. A massive future ahead. The 2-time